Greetings and salutations. My name is Professor John Boyer, and I have to admit right up front, I have a wine drinking problem. And the problem is I can't get enough wine to drink. And I get really excited about wine, and I get really excited about sharing my passion about wine with others, which is exactly why I developed this short course on wine for you here in the digital world. Now, I actually am a professor in the Department of Geography at Virginia Tech, where I've been teaching for, a decade and a half. And a decade of that has been spent teaching a course called the Geography of Wine, which has grown exponentially in student demand over this time period. I used to teach it to about 25 people, and now we regularly teach it to over 600. And we're going to have to expand the course to be online to fulfill the student need for thousands of folks who want to learn more about wine. Now, am I telling you this story so that you can be duly impressed with my awesomeness that everybody loves my classes here at Virginia Tech? Well, yes, but no, not really. What this is indicating a significant shift in drinking behavior in the United States of America here in the early 21st century. And what I mean by that is, specifically when it comes to wine, for the first time in American history, wine is becoming the drink of the masses, not just of the upper classes. Yeah, most of us have always associated wine with the rich people and the snobby people, and it's for the special people. No, not anymore. Almost all of us are drinking it. Over 50% of Americans now go to wine as their first beverage of choice. So what we have is a radical move from beer and hard spirits to wine, which is underway here in the United States, and it's creating a younger generation of drinkers that aren't just drinking to get drunk, for starters, and they're also drinking wine specifically as a part of a healthy diet, as part of social interactions, and our specific lifestyle. The days of cheap light beer and rotten gut liquor are drawing to a close, and a more sophisticated era of Chardonnays and Cabernets is upon us. But many are still really intimidated by all this. Even though most people now drink wine on a regular basis, many are still kind of hesitant to talk about it, to express it. They always need a little bit of help here and there, and they're not very confident in their wine selections when they go to a restaurant and open up something that looks like a phone book that's a listing of wines. And that's actually exactly why I developed this course. I want all Americans and peoples of the world to be much more comfortable drinking wine with their cosmopolitan and classy friends, but also their regular family on a daily basis, and their peers and potential mates. And of increasing importance is wine knowledge and comfort with drinking wine with your potential bosses and coworkers and or potential clients, because wine has now become a life skill, a business skill, a social skill, and it's a language in and of itself that indicates that if you speak this language, you are educated, cultured, and downright civilized. And it's a fantastic time to be drinking wines, quite frankly, for us consumers, because there are now, here at the early part of the 21st century, more wines available from more different parts of the world in more flavors and more styles and more aromas and more colors than ever before in human history. And this competition is causing people to experiment in growing in new places that have never grown before, and experiment with new styles in places that have been growing wine for thousands of years. And the competition overall has driven prices down. So right now is the best time ever for even an average person to go into a place and get a well-crafted wine, if not a very well-crafted wine, for a pretty good price. And everybody can get pretty cheap wines that are decently crafted for a very cheap price. It's a great time to be drinking wine. Now, because of this great proliferation of drinking wine consumption worldwide, there are now probably millions and millions of books and articles and websites and probably thousands of wine courses in universities and online that tackle the topic of wine. And unfortunately, this is my personal opinion, many of them are promising to get you tasting like a wine expert or prepare you for the rigors of wine tasting, or even to train you to do a proper wine sensory evaluation. What? Taste wine like an expert? Do a wine sensory evaluation? Who the heck cares about all that crap? What about us real people who just want to drink wine on a daily basis, which is what humans have been doing for most of their history? I'm not really trying to be a professional wine judge, nor a snobby wine critic, or a master sommelier, whatever the heck that is. I just want to enjoy wine on a regular basis and be able to express that to people around me who also enjoy wine. And that's what I want for you too. I want us all to be able to walk the walk and talk the talk of wine, at least enough to be able to diss those country clubber snobby types who want to use their wine knowledge to try to put you down. No. We want to be able to drink this stuff and enjoy this stuff and not look like a goober doing it. And I want us all to be doing that right now. And that's what I'm really all about, and what this course is all about. Real talk to real people about the real deal of this most awesome beverage that has been imbibed by humans since the birth of civilization. This particular beverage, and I like other beverages too, by the way, but this particular beverage is the beverage of moderation, of education, of socialization, of sophistication, and of civilization. And that's no exaggeration. So this is a truly practical and tactical introduction to the enjoyment and understanding of this most awesome beverage. This course is going to cover a broad array of topics to get you familiar and fluid and fluent in wine, including things like how to taste wine, the sniff and swirl is what I like to call it, how to describe wines. Building your wine vocabulary and palate is crucial. Glassware and decanting, how to order wine in a restaurant, general wine styles and themes, popular white and red wines by name that you may have heard of already. If not, you're going to learn. Tips for buying wine, how to store wine. You don't need to be a millionaire and have your own wine cellar. Us regular people store wine in our regular houses, and I'll give you some tips on how to do that. And finally, some food and wine pairing basics. Even though I'm no master chef, you do need to experiment with putting food and wine together because it's just magical. It's from the gods. It's one of the greatest things of life once you get into it, and you can get into it by doing this course. Now, I only ask you to do a couple things for this course because it's online, it's digital. You can just watch the videos and a million times if you like, and there's actually some quizzes you can take to test your knowledge if you want. And there's even some outside readings I'll suggest along the way. But the thing about wine is you kind of have to do it. It's like riding a bike. I can lecture to you for 10 hours about riding a bike, but I really just need to get you on the bike and push you down the hill and let you go. So you need to be drinking wines this whole time, not just reading or looking. You need to be actually experiencing wine. So I ask of this a couple different things. One, be drinking during the course. Drinking and thinking during this online wine course. And two, keep some notes. I know it's work and this is just supposed to be about fun and enjoyment, and it is. But like anything else in life, the more you invest into it, the more you get out of it. So start a blog just for this experiment, just for this experience, just for this wine course. Start a blog or a diary or a journal for you guys, because guys don't do diaries, they do journals. Whatever it is you want to do, physically write some stuff down. Write about the labels, the wine, the grapes that are in it, and what you thought of it. This is one of the most crucial parts of building your confidence and your vocabulary and attaching things in your brain to what's going on in your mouth and being able to write that down. This is the socialization part of wine, and it's the toughest part. And if you just start thinking while you're drinking and jotting some stuff down, bam, you'll become a professional by the end of this 10 or 15 hour course, however long it is. It's the best way to grow your palate, is to try as many wines as possible and think about them and talk about them and write the things down. That makes sense? And the other great thing about wine in America today is because it's growing by leaps and bounds, no matter where you are in this country, there is a wine store somewhere near you that probably does free tastings on the weekends or maybe during the weekdays, or a grocery store that does samples. You can build your palate and experience and try 1,000 wines in the next year if you put your mind to it. And if you write a bunch of stuff down about those 1,000 wines, you are an expert by the end of this experiment. So are you getting thirsty now for knowledge and for wine itself? Well, let's get to this wine knowledge then. Let's stop dipping our toe in the water of this topic and take the full plunge into a huge vat of wine. So let's get to it and do it. Start drinking and start thinking now.